Em phải đi về rồi, anh Tùng đợi em à.
Lovely storytelling. It dropped us right into the action from the beginning and then brought us back to the moments so we can see how it will unravel and try to piece it together. It unfolded in a really organic way with these very honest conversations about technology and our aversions to it, conversations I've had with friends uh, amongst dinner. And it escalated to levels I was just not quite expecting, which was fun. It kept me on my toes. And ultimately, the nefariousness of it and the unsurety of what was real and what's not made me want to unplug my Google Home pretty quickly. Stylishly and sleekly done, using the AI world, and how we treat it as subservient to human desires and where we go from there.
Man versus technology is the main conflict in this piece. I think there are elements of Black Mirror and Parasite within this film. I don't know why. It was that introductory shot that we see of, I think maybe it's the production design of it all, or I don't know what it is, but it does give me this Parasite type of vibe to this piece. And that's a good thing. Like, Parasite's like one of the best modern movies made of in current times, in my opinion. And so for me to think of this movie and kind of reflect on that and reflect our relationship with technology and the way we go about being consumed on our phones and watching TV and being dedicated to our work in this hustle environment. And sometimes we have to stop and reflect back on to what's right in front of us. And sometimes we get to lose sight of that. And when we lose sight of that, it could ultimately lead us to losing our sanity as well.
I could see it as being like a Black Mirror piece because it really highlights, you know, that current use of technology for, you know, human will and how it can turn and how AI can turn and how we're all, you know, using these extensions of ourselves to serve us. But what happens if they, you know, become sentient and comes back to harm you. I also think you did a really interesting job of like showing us the action and then going back, and then we kind of retrace our steps throughout this piece and see where it goes wrong. I think that was a really interesting choice and something that I really enjoyed watching. I think it was a beautiful concept, a very realistic concept, and one that we will probably have to deal with in real life in the future. So that's lovely and terrifying at the same time, but it was really well paced, really fun to watch, and really suspenseful. So it came out to be a beautiful thriller.
I liked the fact that it had a focus on a relationship and it had that at the center of this film. It also reminded me of Ex Machina a little bit, with that AI coming to life and manipulating the male in the relationship. I thought the concept was really cool, and I loved the twist ending and how we saw the beginning scene again. So it was sort of bookended by that end scene, which I thought was really cool and really well done. The acting was also really good, especially the dynamic between the husband and wife was believable, and their chemistry worked really well. And just the visuals with the blood splatter and the razor. And the editing in this was also really cool. The splicing of the dream sequence with the real life flashbacks and clips. Overall, very creepy, and I love the sci-fi element and the AI in this.
I love the premise and the special effects. I found this film super original, with the whole plot about the machine's rebellion. This is for sure a new type of haunting. Then the scene with the blood, they used a very clever mix-up reality horror, and then the main character's realization of what's happening. It's just truly terrifying, with an interesting proposition of a new virtual hell, consciousness trap, and it's just so scary. I really enjoyed it.
It's like Siri meets VR meets like a dose of steroids. Like, it's just taking everything that a little bit exists now and like amping it up to like a next ridiculous level. And for that reason, like, it's just a tiny bit terrifying because it's actually not that far out of the realm of possibility, and that is what scares me. I thought this was really, really well done. I liked that they took their time really kind of introducing him as this character that didn't like technology, that wasn't super invested in it, that wasn't super accepting of technology even. And then to have him go from that to like indulging in the technology, like fully with his like relaxation, it would start as like relaxation mode and kind of spiraled from there, to then like him being obviously so terrified of everything that he's experiencing, because who wouldn't be terrified at being like seemingly trapped in like your mind or like a VR situation, only to like wake up and see that it was like a dream, but of course it didn't feel like a dream. And you know, kind of obviously it evolved from there. But then to have this like idea of like bringing back, like having probably just like jumped into his subconscious or his deep memory of like this event with his mom, and like the way I loved the way that they kind of spiraled everything out at the very end, and how you're getting just these like flashes of the full story as you're the one that's putting it together.
I like the kind of speculative kind of warning message about technology and how it's invading our lives, and really interesting idea to have basically kind of an Amazon Alexa that can invade your dreams. That's very, very frightening indeed. So yeah, and then we're just not really quite sure what happened to this guy. Doesn't look like things are going to be okay with him. But yeah, good job on this. Good that the lead actors, everybody that was in it, did a great job. I like the effects, and you know, the editing and everything, and the pacing and the spooky scares. Everything was cool. So yeah, great job on this. And I like how you're able to take this kind of big idea of, you know, emerging technology and the dangers of it, and kind of boil it down to a small story just involving a few people in a few small locations. So that was a really great way to make your story tellable.